Smith here today. I am here to talk about dividing whole numbers and mixed numbers today, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I don't want to waste any time, and get right into it. And for those ones that like to go ahead and do all the problems before I go through them with you, I'm going to give you a chance right now to pause your screen so you can do those problems, okay? Problem 1 is 7 3/4 divided by 4. So the first thing that we have to do is change this mixed number into a fraction, okay? So let's do that. Remember, it is the denominator times the whole number. 4 times 7 is 28. And then you add the numerator, so plus 3, and you keep the denominator the same. Now, for whole numbers, the only thing that you have to do for the whole number is to make it into a fraction is to make the denominator a 1. So in this case, with the number 4, you will be saying you have 4 wholes, and that would just be 1 in the denominator. 1 meaning whole, W-H-O-L-E, okay? Now, let us rewrite this with all of the fractions. So 28 plus 3 is going to be 31 over 4 divided by 4 over 1. Now let's solve this, okay? So we're going to write out the first fraction, and we have to change this division sign into a multiplication sign. And then with this one, we're going to flip the fraction, okay? And now we're going to solve it. You ready? Let's go. Well, we can cross-check to see if any of these numbers have factors that will allow you to reduce the numbers. But 31 and 4, no. And 4 and 1, we'll leave it. We're leaving all that. So 31 times 1 is 31. And 4 times 4 is 16. All right, so now we have an answer. It's an improper fraction, but it's an answer. So now what we need to do is we have to turn this improper fraction into a mixed number. So I'm going to write it down here, 31 over 16. And then we're going to say, all right, how many times will 16 go into 31? So we know it goes in at least one time. So does anybody know 16 times 2? Well, I do. It is 32, so we just missed that number. So we can only say there's one whole, because 16 only goes into 31 one time. So 31 minus 16, we have to get that answer. So let's do 31 minus 16 down here. We're going to change that 1 to 11 because we're borrowing from the 3, okay? And now we're going to solve it. 11 minus 6 is 5. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So 15 is left in the numerator. And then we keep the denominator the same, which is 16. And that is your answer. We can't reduce that anymore. 15 over 16 is what we got. All right. Problem number 2. So we first have to start off by getting all of these numbers into fraction form. So we're going to start with the 8 because our problem is 8 divided by 2 3/5. So what is it that we do to make whole numbers fractions? We put the whole number in the numerator, and then in the denominator we put a 1. Okay? Then for our mixed number, we take the denominator and times it by the whole number. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then we add in the numerator. That's 3. And then we leave the denominator the same. All right, let's rewrite this so we can get it going. 8 over 1 divided by 10 plus 3 is 13 over 5. All right, so to solve it, we leave the first fraction the same. We change our division sign to a multiplication sign, and then we flip our second fraction, excuse me, and it will be 5 over 13. All right, let's solve it. You can check and see if, cross-check and see if these have, if you can make these numbers any smaller. You can't with those two. These two, no you can't. Okay, now let's solve it. 8 times 5. It's 40. 1 times 13 is 13. All right, so here's the thing. What kind of fraction is that? That's an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the bottom number. We cannot leave it like that unless you are doing something where they specifically tell you to leave it as an improper fraction, okay? So we're going to change it into a mixed number or a whole number. So I'm going to put it down here, 40 over 13. Now, I know that 13 will go into 40 at least once. 13 times 2 is 26. Okay, we could do that. What about 13 times 3? What's 13 times 3? 13 times 3 is 39. You can actually do that. So we're going to go with 3 as the whole number because 13 goes into 40 3 times. Now that we know that 3 times 13 is 39. We got to take it away from that number in the numerator. So 40 minus 39 is how much? What's left over? 1. And you keep the denominator the same. So guess what? We just solved this problem. Okay, let's do our last problem, number 3. Our problem is 12 divided by 8 and 8/11ths, okay? So the first thing we have to do is we have to change our numbers into fraction form. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So 12, the whole number, we're just going to take that whole number, put it in the numerator, and put a 1 in the denominator. Now it is in fraction form. And we're just going to put the division sign there. Next, we have to change the mixed number into a fraction. So we'll take the denominator and times it by the whole number. So 8 times 11 is 88. And then we add the numerator, which is 8. That's a lot of 8s. All right, and we keep the denominator the same. Now, let's rewrite this and get it so that we can actually solve this problem, okay? 12 over 1 divided by, what's 88 plus 8? That's going to be 96 over 11. These are some weird numbers, right? Okay, so let's solve it. We keep the first fraction the same. Now what are we going to do to this sign? We're going to make it a multiplication sign. Next, we're going to flip the second fraction. So 11 over 96. That's a huge number. Now what do you want to do next? Give you a chance to think about it. You can solve it, I don't like this problem so much because the numbers are so big. And look at this one. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if these numbers have common factors, okay? The good thing is they're both even numbers, so they gotta have some kind of factors, okay? I'm gonna see what I can do with this 12. I'm trying to get these numbers as low as I can. So 12 times, let's go kind of high. 12 times, we know 12 times 5 is 60, but we need to keep going. What's 12 times 6? 12 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Put the 1 over here. That's 1 times 6 is 6. Add 1 is 7. Okay. But we can still keep going because that's 90 something. This is only 70 something. So let's do 12 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. So put the 4 there and the 1 up to the other side. And 1 times 7 is 7. Now add that in, that's 8. Ooh, we got close. We're closer. Can we go even closer? Let's see. 12 times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. So put the 6 down at the bottom. And carry the 1 over to the other side. And now 1 times 8 is 8. And add 1. That makes it 9. Oh, great. So 8 is the key number. But the factor that we used was 12. This is the factor that we need right here. Okay, so 12 is fine. So how many times does 12 go into 12? 1 time. That makes me feel so good because I just reduced my number so much. Now, how many times does 12 go into 96? We go down here, 8 times. So we're gonna make this an 8. Whew, that made me feel so much better. I feel so much better about this problem. Okay, so now let's try and solve this problem. 1 times 11 is 11. And 1 times 8 is 8. You see how much better that problem is? You could have done it the longer way, but you sure would have been doing a lot more with numbers. So this really helped us out. Now, can we leave it like this? 11 over 8? We cannot, because it's an improper fraction. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we're going to make it into a mixed number or a whole number, okay? Now, how many times does 8 go into 11? 1 time. Is there anything left over? Yep, so it can't be a whole number as the answer. So we're gonna go ahead and put that 1 there. And then we have to take away the 8 from that numerator. So 11 minus 8 equals 3. So we'll leave 3 in the numerator. And then what do? We keep the denominator the same. So we come up with an answer of 1 3/8. We want the right answer. So if taking the long route through works better for you right now, we'll take it. Okay, because we definitely want you to get to the right answer, okay? So you just keep practicing. If you are having a little difficulty, especially as the numbers become bigger, then that means you just need to practice. You need to up your game, that's all. More difficult questions. And guess who can help you with that? Your teachers at school, your rap family. You have the support you need, so just ask, okay? And in the meantime, I want you all to remember, it's very important that you exercise your mind, but also you gotta exercise your body, okay? And I look forward to hearing about the great things that you guys are doing with these fractions, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.